Welcome to the Birdcraft Technology. Here we foster the culture of committed aviation professionals. We talk about what that means, what that looks like, the sacrifices made. And so, what will you sacrifice to become an aviation professional? Every expert, every successful aviation professional out there has sacrificed something. If you want to become, what are you going to sacrifice? Every expert out there has to become a hustler first, has to become someone who's willing to sacrifice. You know, they talk about life having levels and different things having levels, and level one of getting into aviation, regardless of what you have done, regardless of what you know, is you got to learn, you got to build your resume like anything else, right? You got to put in your time. You have to put in your time. What's that they talk about, like the 10,000 hour rule? I would say that's applicable. I would say that at that 10,000 hour rule, maybe you get your 10,000 hours in, and now you're a professional. You're competent. You're skilled. But there's always something to learn. And let me talk to you guys. This is what it takes. So I'm an aviation maintenance professional. I'm a student helicopter pilot. I'm doing all these different things. But before I could do any of this, you know, I had to work a line service job. You know, all those entry-level aircraft mechanics out there, all those aspiring to be. I tell you to go get a line service job. The reason I tell you to do that is because I've done it. I learned a ton of general aviation aircraft. I learned R-22s, R-44s, R-66s, Citation 10s, Citation Ultras, Citation XLs, Hawkers, Phenoms, Learjets, Falcons, you name it. Because when the CSR, the customer service representative, told me to go fuel that Hawker, I had to know what piece of iron wanted fuel in it, right? I had to know what plane needed to be serviced. And before you know it, you know all these aircraft. You know the Cessna Skymaster, you know the Apache, you know the Piper Arrow, you know these airplanes. But you sacrifice. Why? Because when I was doing line service, I was getting paid 10 to 14 bucks an hour. That ain't money. If that's what you're aspiring to make, we're gonna help you out with that. We're gonna help you raise that bar a little higher. Man, 14 bucks an hour. But I didn't stop there. I worked a 14-hour job. I went to school. And I had 2 other part-time jobs. So let's think about this. I had 3 part-time jobs, all of them in aviation. And I was going to school in aviation, doing 4 big things. 4 big things, and I did that for 3 years. Those 3 jobs. And now I've had, you know, other things. But I did that specifically for 3 years. I worked 7 days a week. I worked 5 doubles a week. If you're in your 20s, you don't have anything to complain about. You don't have any excuses. You don't have any reasons to stop you. The only thing that's stopping you is this. Why? Because I would get up at nothing ridiculous, 7:30, 8 o'clock to be at school by 8:30. And I would go until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And if it was a Friday or a Saturday and I got off at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and my friends were still hanging out, I'd go hang out. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. And if you're going to cut anything out, cut that out. And now all that fun and hanging out with the friends, that's not a thing anymore. Why? Because I've taken that time and I've leaned into the pressure and the goals of supplying for you guys, YouTubing, creating more digital products. So if you want to be an aviation professional, you want to become anything, matter of fact, you got to lean into that pressure. You have to adopt the mentality that I have to sacrifice, and you can't just do it for 1 or 2 or 3. You really need to do it for 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years to gain some real traction. That's how I became I contract aircraft mechanic on business jets and helicopters. That's how I got cool opportunities like going to Tunisia, which is North Africa. That's also how I got the cool opportunity of learning how to fly helicopters. It came after the sacrifice. So you guys, once you make that sacrifice, I'll tell you this, guys and girls, it's extremely rewarding on this side. I mean, being an aviation professional is freaking awesome. I mean, flying over Atlanta, doing some maintenance, and then watching that helicopter or that airplane take off, the things that I'm learning, you're working on leading edge equipment. You think when my refrigerator burns out that I call a technician up? No. You think when an electronic fries, when the TV goes out or something at the house, that we just toss it away? No. Aircraft mechanics are skilled. And once you have honed those skills, you're gonna be a beast. You're gonna be a warrior. Matter of fact, at that point, you're going to be in the birdcraft. You're gonna be a committed aviation professional. You're gonna understand, you're gonna be able to better identify with what I'm saying. So, quick actions, and what call to action. If you support the culture of what it means to be a committed aviation professional, you can do a couple of things for me, and all of them are free. And you're not doing them for me, you're doing them for you. You're doing them for the community. You're doing them for the culture. Go follow the Facebook page, The Birdcraft Technology. Go follow The Birdcraft on Instagram. Watching this YouTube video, I guess I bet you know what else I want you to do. I want you to subscribe, I want you to like, and I want you to check out the podcast. We've gotten a lot of great reviews on the podcast. I'm going to continue producing the podcast. And with that being said, I want you guys to continue pursuing excellence.